All of us have discovered a gem or two along the way, right? BC, which is my way of saying before I knew Christ. Bands like Y&T, Rough Cut, Coney Hatch. You've probably heard of them. Maybe you haven't. I saw all three of them warm up for other bands in Indianapolis when I was a kid growing up. I went out and bought some of their albums and I was like, man, these bands are awesome. And I remember having the thought, I know some people know about them, but these bands are good enough. They deserve way more attention than they're getting. For whatever reason, they never really reached that next level, you know, and you sit there as a fan and you think, man, there's just some bands that ought to be huge, but for whatever reason, they don't seem to get that spotlight. So in this video, I'm gonna lay 10 bands on you from Spotify. Okay, that's where I did my research. All 10 of these are Christian hard rock bands, classic style hard rock or metal. Some of them have a little bit of a modern vibe to them, but they all fit into what I would consider to be that classic hard rock and metal sound. Some of them have less than 100 monthly listeners on Spotify, which is just crazy low. And I think all 10 of these bands deserve a whole lot more listens than that, so I'm excited to share this with you. Rocking you up for Jesus Christ with classic style hard rock music and practical Bible teaching. So here's how we're going to do this, okay? We're going to walk through all 10 of these bands. For each one, you're going to hear just a few seconds of one of their opening riffs, followed by me giving a real rapid fire, just quick description of kind of what they sound like, what their vibe is, to give you just enough of a taste that if you know this band, you're going to be able to say, oh, absolutely, those guys are killer. And if you don't know them, you're going to get just enough to say, oh, dude, I got to write this band's name down. I got to check them out. Okay, here we go. And once again, in no particular order, here's band number 1. What I love about Letter 7 is their riffs. Their guitar player's great. Their vocals are awesome, spot on. Their lyrics are Christ-centered and challenging. They've got that X factor, in my opinion, of just having that overall classic hard rock sound and vibe. Their songwriting's great. Letter 7. Band number 2. Again, Mention, licks, riffs, hooks, overall vibe. One of the things that I think makes Mention kind of stand out a little bit is their use of dynamics. He has a good way of building things up and dropping things down. Very cool. Check him out. Mention. Band number 3. PK Mitchell. So this is really kind of more of an artist that has other people playing with him. But man, love PK Mitchell. His whole album, and he may have put other things out, but I'm only really familiar with this one album that he put out of traditional hymns re-envisioned as hard rock songs. I mean, he does an amazing job with this. He takes songs like Amazing Grace, Jesus Paid It All, Nothing But the Blood, traditional songs that I grew up singing in church, and he turns them into rock anthems that are just sincerely awesome. They're heavy, they got that vibe, they're not cheesy, they're Christ-honoring. PK Mitchell. Band number 4. Lord Chain is heavy. They got a little bit of that drop D kind of low end going on that sounds a little bit modern, but they have plenty of classic sound vibe as well. They're melodic. They've got epic themes woven into their music that really impact your heart. Really sweet choruses, all for the glory of Jesus. Lord Chain. Band number 5. If I was going to describe Seventh Power in one sentence, I would say from my 57-year-old perspective, what I think of as kind of modern rock meets classic Black Sabbath sound and vibe. A lot of these songs sound like early Black Sabbath. And the vocalist, oh my goodness, albeit I think they do it with production a little bit, but he sounds like Ozzy. And it's all for the glory of Jesus, man. Check him out. The Seventh Power. Band number 6. Sardonyx. That's how I would pronounce it just phonetically. If I got that wrong, correct me down in the comments, okay, if you know about this band. Classic style, melodic, hard rock, metal music. I was really blessed as I listened through their album at the creativity that they weave into their production and the way they arrange their songs. There's some cool surprises and neat kind of ear candy stuff along the way. They sound awesome. It's all for Jesus. Sardonyx. Band number 7. Classic for sure, but a little bit off the beaten path. Honestly, as I listened to Borders, I kind of tilted my head and scratched it a little bit in a very cool way. They're great musicians. The songwriting is awesome. The vocals to me sound like a little bit of a blend of Tom Kiefer of Cinderella, Blackie Lawless of Wasp, and a third voice that I can't quite put my finger on. I know I've heard somebody that sounds a little bit like this before, but I can't think of them. But anyway, someone with a little bit of a higher range and just that really sweet raspiness. If you're looking for classic, but kind of in a fresh way, man, Borders. Band number 8. Modest Attraction. Dude, they're classic, they're riffy, they're heavy. I love their vocals. Their lyrics are just spot on, hit you right in the heart for Jesus. Modest Attraction. Band number 9. Messenger is tight, they're heavy, they're aggressive, they're kind of borderline, almost speed metal in some cases. Some really great dual guitar work. They're punchy, everything's well written and arranged. Their songs are loaded with inspirational themes and lyrics about Jesus and living for Him. Definitely worth checking out. Messenger. Band number 10. Now, I've known about Jet Circus for a little bit, and I don't really know if they have other albums out or if this is the only one they put out, but their first album is called Look at Death Now. I really love the sound of it. If you think about Bride, especially during that kind of Rattlesnakes in the Playground era, Dale Thompson's attitude and vibe and his vocals, the overall grooviness of the band, that's very similar in vibe to what you get with Jet Circus. Their bass player employs distortion on his guitar, almost like old Geezer Butler from Black Sabbath, only even more distortion. It's Jesus-centered, it's hooky, it's riffy, it's cool. Check them out, man. Jet Circus. All right, hey, I hope you love that video. Listen, if you got some more gems, some bands that you're like, dude, nobody really knows about these guys. They're awesome. List them down in the comments so the Pastor Brad Rocks community can discover them so that we can give them some love, some support, some attention. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like. Likes and comments and all that kind of response really does help a video thrive in the YouTube algorithm and be seen by more people. So any interaction that you can give this video, man, it's really appreciated. It's awesome. Plus, it's just a great way to interact with the community. If you haven't subscribed yet, oh my goodness, hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so that you don't miss other videos like this coming out in the future. Right over here, you'll notice my album Crush. I released this a few years back. 10 classic style Pastor Brad hard rock metal tunes, all for Jesus, all about rocking you up. It's available everywhere you listen to music, man, so give it a listen, share it with your friends. Really appreciate it. If you like this video, I think you might also like these over here, so check one of them out. Keep your eyes on Jesus, and I'll catch you in the next video.